My Irish husband thought I was an only child from a small family in Lagos. The truth: I have 6 children waiting for me in Nigeria. And today, my 9-year-old daughter just sent a friend request to Declan on Facebook. Let me tell you how an ordinary Tuesday in Dublin became the day my two worlds collided. My name is Adiz, but in Ireland, everyone calls me Ada. Easier that way. Less questions. Less explanations. Less everything. I met Declan Murphy 5 years ago at Temple Bar where I worked as a waitress. He was different from the other Irishmen who tried to chat me up. He didn't ask stupid questions about Africa or lions or whether we lived in trees. He just asked about me. "You have the most beautiful smile I've ever seen," he said that first night, his blue eyes genuine. "What's your story, Ada?" If only he knew that question would take years to answer. And even then, he'd only get half the truth. But let me take you back further, because you need to understand why I'm here. Why I built this house of cards that's about to collapse. In 2017, I was drowning in Lagos. Not the glamorous Lagos you see on Instagram. The real Lagos. The one where you have 6 children, a husband who disappeared after child number 4, and a mama who was sick with diabetes that was eating through our savings faster than I could count. My oldest, Kayameka, was 13. Then there was Chidi, 11, Ngozi, 9, the twins Ibuka and Adana, 7, and baby Obioma, 4. 6 mouths. 6 school fees. 6 futures that depended entirely on me. I was a nurse at a private hospital in Suraleh, but the money was nonsense. After rent, food, medicine for mama, school fees, nothing remained. Every night, I'd watch my children sleep on mats on the floor and think, there has to be more than this. That's when my friend Keru told me about Ireland. "Ada, they are begging for nurses. Irish work permit, decent salary, and you can send money home. My cousin is there, she's making it." The desperation made me do things I never thought I would. I borrowed money from everyone, neighbors, church members, even a loan shark who charged 30% interest. I got the papers together, passed the interviews, and in December 2018, I landed in Dublin with 1 suitcase and a heart full of promises to my children. "Mommy is going to make money and come back soon," I told them. 1 year maximum. That was 6 years ago. The first year in Dublin, I kept my promise. Every euro I made went straight home minus rent and the cheapest food I could survive on. I worked double shifts, slept 4 hours a night, and video called my children every Sunday like clockwork. But here's what they don't tell you about being a Nigerian nurse in Ireland: your credentials mean nothing. I had to retrain, pass Irish exams, work as a healthcare assistant while studying. The money I thought I'd make. It took 3 years to actually start earning it. 3 years of explaining to my children why mommy couldn't come home yet. 3 years of missing birthdays, first days of school, Kayameka's secondary school graduation. 3 years of my mother's voice getting weaker on WhatsApp calls, "When are you coming, NWAM?" Then I met Declan. I didn't plan to fall in love. I definitely didn't plan to marry him. But somewhere between the long shifts, the loneliness, and his genuine kindness, it happened. When he proposed 6 months into dating, I should have told him everything. But here's the thing about desperation: it makes you a master at justification. If I marry him, I get my stamp for secure residency, better nursing opportunities, more money to send home. If I tell him the truth, he'll run. Who wouldn't? "Hey, I know I told you I'm an only child, but actually I have 6 kids and a whole other life in Nigeria." So I said yes. And I buried the truth deeper. The wedding was small. Just Declan's family and a few friends. My family couldn't attend, I told everyone. Too expensive to fly them over, and my mother's health is fragile. All true. I just left out the part about which family members I was referring to. Declan's mother, Siobhan, was suspicious from day one. "It's just strange, love," she said to Declan when she thought I couldn't hear. No family at the wedding. No childhood stories. It's like she appeared out of thin air. Mom, stop, Declan defended me. Not everyone has a massive Irish family like us. She's private about her past. Respect that. I loved him more for defending me. And hated myself more for making him defend a lie. Managing the double life was like having 2 full-time jobs. I had 2 phones. The Irish one, unlimited data, Declan's name saved as husband, photos of us around Dublin, carefully curated Instagram showing my new life. Then there was the Nigerian phone. Hidden in my nursing bag. Different WhatsApp. Different Facebook. Photos of my children that I'd stare at during bathroom breaks, crying silently in the hospital toilet. I'd perfected the art of timing. When Declan worked late, I'd video call Nigeria. I told my children mommy worked for a white family who didn't allow her to have visitors. That's why they couldn't come. That's why I couldn't show them where I lived. Soon, I promised every week. Mommy will sort everything soon. The money I sent home increased. Kayameka was now in university. Chidi was preparing for JAM. The younger ones were in better schools. Mama's diabetes was controlled with proper medication. I'd built them a 3-bedroom flat in Suralia. I was providing everything. Except myself. Every night, I'd lie next to Declan in our cozy Rathmines apartment, and the guilt would suffocate me. But then I'd think of my children's school fees paid, Mama's medicine bought, and I'd convince myself, I'm doing the right thing. I'll tell him soon. When the time is right. The time was never right. This morning started like every Tuesday. Declan left for his construction site at 6 a.m. I had the late shift, so I had the apartment to myself until noon. That's when I made my first mistake. I left both phones on the kitchen counter while I showered. I came out wrapped in a towel to find Declan standing in the kitchen. Home early. Holding my Nigerian phone. Ada. His voice was confused. Your phone kept buzzing. I thought it was yours, but why does it say Kayameka calling? And why are there so many missed calls from Chidi and Ngozi? My heart stopped. No go be today this thing go end like this. Those are cousins, I stammered. Family back home. Cousins. He looked at the phone again. There's a message here that says, Mommy, please call us back. Adana is sick. The bathroom suddenly felt too small. The towel too thin. My skin too exposed. Declan, I can explain. Who is calling you Mommy? His blue eyes were searching mine, looking for the woman he married. Ada, who are these people? That's when my Nigerian phone rang again. Kayameka. My oldest. Declan didn't ask. He just answered it. Hello. This is Declan, Ada's. Uncle Declan. Kayameka's excited voice filled the kitchen. She'd heard about him from me. I'd stupidly mentioned him once as a friend from work. Uncle Declan, thank God. Please tell Mommy to call us. Adana has malaria and we need money for the hospital. Mama was rushed to the medical center this morning. I snatched the phone from his hands. Kayameka, I'll call you back. I ended the call, hands shaking. The silence in that kitchen was the loudest sound I'd ever heard. Uncle Declan. His voice was barely a whisper. She called me Uncle Declan. Ada, what the fuck is going on? I tried to hold it together. I really did. But 5 years of lies came pouring out in that Rathmines kitchen while I stood there in a towel, watching my Irish life and Nigerian life crash into each other. I have children, I said. 6 of them. In Lagos. Declan stepped back like I'd physically hit him. You have 6 children. And a mother. She's sick. That's where all my money goes. That's why I work double shifts. That's. You told me you were an only child. You said your parents were dead. His voice was rising. The walls were thin. The neighbors could probably hear. My father is dead. I never said my mother. Don't. He put up his hand. Don't you dare do that. You lied. 6 children, Ada. 6. I was going to tell you. When? When were you going to tell me? After we had kids of our own. Were you just going to, what? Keep them secret forever? I had no answer. Because that's exactly what I'd planned. He looked at me like he'd never seen me before. Do you even love me? Or was this whole thing just for the stamp for? That one hurt. Because yes, initially, it had been about papers. But somewhere along the way, I'd fallen completely, devastatingly in love with Declan Murphy. I love you, I whispered. That part is real. How would I even know? He grabbed his jacket. How would I know what's real and what's another one of your lies? The door slammed. I stood there in my towel, in our apartment that suddenly felt like a crime scene. Then my Nigerian phone rang again. The next 3 days were hell. Declan stayed at his brother's place. Wouldn't answer my calls. His mother, Siobhan, called me once just to say, I knew something was off about you. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, my family was falling apart. Adana's malaria got worse. Mama's blood sugar was dangerously high. The hospital bills were piling up, and I just sent my last €500 before the truth exploded. I was trapped between 2 worlds, and both were collapsing. That's when my second phone lit up with a notification that made my blood freeze. Kayameka Okonkwo wants to connect with Declan Murphy on Facebook. No. No. I frantically called Kayameka. Mommy. I found Uncle Declan on Facebook. I'm going to send him a friend request so we can. Kayameka, don't. Why not? You said he's your friend. I want to introduce myself. I made a nice post with all our pictures so he can see the family. Chi, baby, please listen to mommy. Do not send that request. Delete whatever you posted. Right now. But mommy. Kayameka. My voice cracked. Please. I'm begging you. The silence on the other end told me she'd finally understood. Something was very wrong. Mommy, what's happening? Why can't Uncle Declan know about us? Are you ashamed of us? The knife twisted deeper. No, baby. Never. I'm ashamed of myself. Declan came back on Friday evening. He looked terrible. I probably looked worse. We need to talk, he said. We sat on opposite ends of our couch. The same couch where we'd watched movies, laughed, made love. Now it felt like an ocean between us. I've been thinking, he started. And I need you to answer some questions. Honestly this time. I nodded. Are you married? In Nigeria? No. Their father left years ago. We were never officially married. But you were married. You have 6 children with someone. Yes. What are their names? I told him. Every name. Every age. Every detail I'd been hiding. Why didn't you tell me? Before we got married. This was the question I'd been dreading. Because I was terrified you'd leave. And I needed the papers, Declan. I needed the security to keep sending money home. My children were suffering. Mama was dying. I had no choice. You had a choice. His voice broke. You could have trusted me with the truth. Would you have married me? Honestly. If I told you I had 6 children in Nigeria that I send all my money to. The silence was my answer. That's what I thought, I whispered. That's not fair, Ada. You didn't even give me the chance to make that decision. You made it for me. You trapped me in a marriage based on lies. He was right. He was absolutely right. What do you want me to do? I asked. I can't undo it. I can't make my children disappear. I can't stop being their mother. I know. He ran his hands through his hair. That's the fucked up part. I know you're a good mother. I've watched you work yourself to death. I just never knew why. I thought you were just driven. Ambitious. I was desperate. Yeah. He looked at me, really looked at me. You still are. What happened next, I didn't expect. Declan didn't leave. He didn't file for divorce. Instead, he did something that broke me in a completely different way. Show me, he said. Show me your children. With shaking hands, I opened my Nigerian phone. Years of photos poured out. Birthday parties I'd missed. School plays I'd watched on grainy video calls. Kayamaka in her university matriculation gown. The twins on their first day of secondary school. Baby Obioma who wasn't a baby anymore. Declan scrolled through silently. I watched his face carefully. Anger. Disgust. Pity. When he looked up, his eyes were wet. They look like you, he said simply. Kayamaka has your smile. I couldn't speak. The tears just came. I'm not saying I'm okay with this, Ada. I'm not saying I forgive you. But. He took a breath. I need to understand. I need to see what was so important that you'd risk everything. What are you saying? I'm saying. He closed the phone carefully. I'm saying let's go to Lagos. What? You heard me. Let's go to Lagos. I want to meet them. Your children. Your mother. I want to see the life you've been hiding. Because if we're going to figure out what comes next, I need to see the whole picture. Not just the half you've been showing me. I stared at him. This Irishman who I'd lied to for 5 years. Who had every right to hate me. Who was offering me something I never thought possible. You want to meet my children. I want to understand my wife. He stood up. The real one. Not the version you thought I needed. 2 weeks later, we landed at Murtala Muhammad International Airport. The humidity hit Declan the moment we stepped outside. Jesus, it's like breathing soup. Welcome to Lagos, I said weakly. The drive to Soralia was quiet. Declan stared out the window, taking in the chaos, downfall buses, street hawkers, traffic that made Dublin look organized. I watched him process the reality of where I came from. When we pulled up to the flat I'd built with my Irish salary, my children were waiting outside. All 6 of them. Kayamaka, now 19 and stunning in her university braids. Chidi, 17 and tall like his father. Ngozi, 15, suspicious eyes watching the Oyinbo man with her mother. The twins, 13, holding hands nervously. And Obioma, 10, hiding behind her siblings. I stepped out of the car. My babies. My heart. My reason for everything. Mommy. They rushed me. 6 pairs of arms wrapped around me. 6 voices saying mommy at once. 6 years of missing them collapsed into one moment. Through my tears, I saw Declan get out of the car slowly. He stood there, this tall Irishman in his polo shirt and jeans, watching his wife being loved by children he never knew existed. Kayamaka was the first to approach him. Uncle Declan. Her English was perfect, accented with Lagos inflection. Just Declan is fine, he said quietly. Thank you, she said simply. For bringing our mother home. Even if just for a little while. I watched something shift in his face. The anger that had been there for weeks softened. Just a bit. Your mother talks about you all the time, he lied kindly. Then corrected himself. Actually, no. She didn't. That's the problem. But I think I understand why now. That evening, we sat in the small flat, too many people, too little space, too much food that Mama and my sisters had prepared despite me begging them not to stress themselves. Mama, weak but stubborn, gripped Declan's hand. Thank you for taking care of my daughter, she said in broken English. She suffered too much. I pray for her every day. Declan looked at me. She's been taking care of herself, Mo. And all of you. She's a good woman. Good mother. She leave her children for 6 years to make money. That is sacrifice. Yeah, Declan said quietly. It is. Later, after the children had gone to bed and Mama had retired, Declan and I sat outside on the small veranda. "They are good kids," he said. "Really good." "I know. Kayamaka is studying medicine." "Yes. First in her class. And Chidi wants to be an engineer. Like his grandfather was." Declan was quiet for a long moment. "Then, I get it now. Why you did what you did. It doesn't make it right. But I get it." "I'm sorry," I said for the 100th time. "I'm so sorry, Declan." "I know." He looked at the Lagos skyline, lights twinkling in the chaos. "Here's the thing, Ada. I'm angry. I'm hurt. You lied to me for 5 years. You married me under false pretenses. Any reasonable person would walk away." My heart sank. "But," he continued, "I've spent 2 days watching you with your children. Watching how much they love you. How much they need you. Watching how you've managed to raise 6 incredible kids from 5,000 kilometers away while working double shifts and building a life with me." He turned to look at me. "You're either the worst person I've ever met or the strongest. And I'm starting to think it's the latter." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I need time. I'm saying counseling. I'm saying we rebuild this from the ground up with honesty this time. I'm saying I don't know if I can forgive you, but I'm willing to try." The tears came again. "You'd really try? After everything?" My dad always said, "Murphy men don't quit when things get hard." He smiled sadly. "I just never thought hard would mean finding out my wife has 6 kids in Nigeria." Despite everything, I laughed. Actually laughed. "What about?" I hesitated. "What about them? My children?" Declan was quiet for a long time. "I don't know yet, Ada. I'm not the Ada. I don't know if I can be. But maybe we figure out a way where you don't have to choose between your Irish life and your Nigerian life. Maybe we figure out how to make one life that includes all of it. Is that even possible? I don't know. But we're about to find out." 6 months later, I'm sitting in the same Rathmines apartment, but everything is different. Declan and I are in couples therapy. Every Thursday, 7 p.m., we sit on another couch and unpack the lies, the hurt, the desperation that built my house of cards. It's brutal. Some days I think we won't make it. Some days he can't even look at me. But we are still trying. Kayamaka video calls us together now. Not just me in the bathroom during stolen moments, but both of us. She calls Declan by his name, and he asks about her exams. It's awkward but it's honest. The other children are warming up slower. Ngozi is still suspicious. Chidi keeps his distance. But Obioma, my baby, drew Declan a picture last week. He put it on our fridge. Mama's health has stabilized. The money I send now, Declan knows about. He even added some of his own last month when the twins needed new school uniforms. "They're your family," he said simply. "Which makes them part of my responsibility too, I suppose. I don't deserve him. I know that. My Irish residence is secure now, not because I tricked anyone, but because I earned it. I'm a fully registered nurse. I have my stamp for legitimate and clear. But the real status I'm still working on. Forgiveness. Trust. A marriage built on truth instead of desperation." Some of my Nigerian friends think I'm mad for telling Declan the truth. "You could have kept it secret forever," they say. "Why confess?" Because I learned something in that terrible week when my 2 worlds collided. You can run from the truth, but it will always find you. And when it does, it destroys everything unless you've built your life on something real. Am I happy I left my children for 6 years? No. Would I do it again? Honestly, if it was the only way to save them, yes. Do I regret lying to Declan? Every single day. But do I regret fighting to make this work? To build something honest from the ashes of my lies? Never. Last week, Declan said something that made me cry in the middle of Tesco. I've been thinking about Christmas, he said casually, comparing butter prices. Okay. What if we spent it in Lagos this year? I'd like to see the kids again. And your mom keeps sending me recipes on WhatsApp. I should probably learn to make proper jollof if I'm going to be connected to this family. I stood there in the butter aisle, this man casually talking about my family like they are our family, and I lost it. Are you serious? He looked at me like I was mad. About the jollof? Dead serious. Your mom says mine tastes like white people food. I need to fix that. This man. This beautiful, stubborn, Irish man who has every reason to hate me and instead chooses to learn jollof rice. We are not perfect. Some days we are barely okay. But we are honest now. And maybe that's what home really is. Not Lagos or Dublin. Not Nigeria or Ireland. Maybe home is wherever you can finally tell the truth.